our back. And we get some information here too. And I invite you first just to take care of your head, which may be just manually adjusting the head, lifting and sliding the chin down towards the chest. It may also be sliding a blanket or a pillow under your head so that you don't feel congested in the back of your neck. And starting at the feet, and you can't just lift and peek down at the feet. Do they mirror one another, or does one roll out more than the other? Notice if one cheek lies flatter. So this interoception, checking inward, is such an integral part of tending to what is here. If we can't feel it, if we can't sense it, we lose the awareness to tend to it. Notice if the low back is raised high, or does it relax more down towards the floor? Can you feel your lower ribs on the mat, or are they lifted? Are you laying towards the tailbone on the sacrum or towards the top of the sacrum? That tells us something about the curvature of the lumbar spine and the hip flexor conundrum, the psoas and the quads, how flat the thighs are resting on the mat. And of course, everything connects. We know that. So sensing your shoulder blades. Does one lay maybe a little flatter than the other? Is there a rotation of the spine, or is there tension around the neck and shoulder? Our dominant side tends to hold more tension, and in turn that can feel like it's raised away from the floor more than flattening out against the floor. Do you center on the back of the skull? And the distance between skull and sacrum, that tells us a lot about our spine. So spine is king. Even when we work on the hips, it's really to facilitate ease of the spine. Now let's bend up the knees. Placing the hands on the lower belly. And bringing the awareness to the breath. Not to change it, but just to notice what it is right now. Does it ride kind of high? So it might need a little bit of encouragement, a reminder to bring the breath down into the lower abdomen. And then without a rapid force, just let the diaphragm begin to stretch out a little bit more with each in-breath. So the breath is felt in the lower abdomen. Down towards the pubic bone. And into the pelvis. How our pelvis floor relates to our spine, our integrity of the pelvis mobility. We want these muscles, like any other muscle in our body, to be able to contract and be able to release. So not too slack, but also hypotonic. When they're so restricted, it tenses up everything else. So there's a suppleness. And one way to sense this is imagine that you are breathing in through the pelvic floor. You have 3 orifices here as females, 2 as males. Breathing in and then breathing out. So while it's a mind proposition, you're not changing anything in the pelvic floor, you're simply adding a new layer of awareness. And letting that mimic, that movement of the pelvic floor mimic the diaphragm. As the diaphragm moves down towards the hips on the in-breath, the pelvic floor has a little bit of downward movement. And as the diaphragm moves up, the pelvic floor draws up. So this gives the spine, the lumbar spine, and the sacrum, the sacral joint, a little massage. So as you breathe in and out, can you sense the lumbar spine and the sacrum dancing upward a little bit? And as you breathe out, floating down. If the pelvic floor is held in a rigid tension, this doesn't happen. Everything is locked into place and it loses out in this easy floating movement. And we can layer this awareness with the arch and flatten. Inhale and do a small arch, not your gold medal arch, just a small one, feeling you're rolling towards the tailbone. And then exhale, floating back to neutral. Let's take a buffer breath. And then inhaling, repeating. Just a gentle arch. Breath fills. Muscles contract in the low back. And then we float back. Make it easy. Make it easy. Let's do one more time. Gentle engagement of the low back facilitates the arch. Relaxing back. Full breath in and out. And then we'll explore the reverse. Take your breath in for nothing. And exhale, flattening. Drawing upward from the pubic bone to the heart, hollowing out the belly. And then release. In and out breath. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, flattening. But with a hollowing out, the hollowing out is paramount as that takes the corset muscles along with it. If we are flattening with the belly poofing up, then we are not using the core muscle, the abdominis transversus, the corset. I think we should do that one more time. To put it daintily, suck it in. And notice, does your pelvic floor draw up with that? So that Mula Bandha in yoga. to facilitate that we're not bearing down when we engage the abdominal muscles, putting added pressure on the pelvic floor, likely to cause prolapse, incontinence, and these conditions, and just pain from the imbalance. Now let's put these two together. Enjoy the ride. Inhale, you arch, and exhale, floating back. Breath in for nothing. Exhale, hollow out. Let the pelvic floor contract up, and then let that release with the belly. Let's take a buffer breath. And again, arching. Floating back. Let the muscles release. Sacral lumbar joint relaxing. In for nothing, and now hollow out. And then letting go. Breath in and out for nothing. One more time. All healing starts with awareness, breath. Because you can remember this, arch and flatten. Always let yourself start here. We work just with 3 entities in our practice: breath, stillness, and movement. And how we apply each changes the other 2. Sliding now your right leg out, sliding it out along the floor. Once out, take a full breath in and out. Let it relax completely. And then slide the leg back in. Slide the left leg out. And again, take a full breath. And then you can invite the breath into your left hip joint. And if you feel there's gripping that you can't quite release, you can stay for more than one breath. Again, look at how you breathe as part of how we change. Sliding the leg up when you are ready. And we'll slide the right leg out again, moving slowly. Letting the foot flop out to the side. Notice if there's any holding in the hip. Breathing. For so long, we were thinking, well, movement is what changes it. And we really had no concept of the other 2 modalities. We were Nikeing it. That's how I like to say it to some of my clients. Let's draw the legs up when you're ready. Sliding the left out again. But we came to learn that focus on movement without stillness, without breath awareness, it's like continuing to tighten a bow. You just add a little bit more tension, a little bit more tension, a little more tension. And eventually the bow, you can't tighten it anymore. Breathing in and out, relax. Sliding it in. One more time. moving in a manner that's so easy and enjoyable, lazy, all of these words we tend not to use about healing. You're keeping the connection open between your mind and your body, motor nerves and sensory nerves. What does this feel like? Slowly release it, slowing back up when you're ready, and then go to the other side. Noticing, does one side have a little harder time letting go, of melting? As you breathe in and out of the area of the hip, sliding the leg up. And then adding now the shoulder shrug. So as you inhale into the belly, pull the shoulders up towards the ears. It feels a little counterintuitive. And as you exhale, slide the shoulders down and then let go. Buffer breath. And then let's repeat. Sliding the shoulders up as the belly expands. And exhale. Shoulders down. And relax. One more time after the buffer breath. Sliding up. Breathing in. And exhale. Pull the shoulders down and exhale. Let's get the intercostals on board and then relax. Let's slide the legs out long. And notice if your back body, if your pelvis is resting a little differently. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Paying attention is an art. It means you have to use your senses. What does it feel like? We'll bend the knees up again. Let's relax the head, turning it to the right, but in more sense of relaxing than actively turning it to the right. Take a breath here. Will it turn a little bit more? Make your left shoulder very heavy. And then inhaling all the way back to center. And exhale to the left. Relaxing the head to the left. Take a breath in. Can you let go a little bit more? Right shoulder heavy. And the in-breath brings us back. Repeating on the out-breath to the right. I invite you to close your eyes. As you turn the head, take an extra breath. Maybe you rotate a little bit more. And then inhaling to center. Exhaling to the left side. No force, easy. Take an extra breath. And then Let that go. And then in breath, center one more time. To the right. Extra breath. Maybe a little bit more rotation. The cervical spine is where we have the most rotation. Who knew? The lumbar is the least. In breath to center. And other side. Does one side feel tighter, more restricted? Allowing to release rather than forcing a stretch will have more long-term benefits. Now, let's get on to those hip flexors. Draw the right knee into the chest. And then lower it back down to the floor, sliding it out. So now we're back with the first one. As you slide it out, let it relax. We'll take that full breath in and out. And then sliding the leg up again. Draw the knee in. And releasing down slowly. Sliding the leg out. Let it relax. Full breath. In and out. Teaching your body that movement is easy. We'll do that one more time. Sliding up. Draw the knee in. Releasing it down. Sliding it out. Now the quad is completely relaxed. Both at the hip and the knee. Sliding your left leg out just to feel right side and left side. What may feel different around the right hip, left hip from doing this? And this is how we learned, was this beneficial for my body? Do I have tension here that I was not aware of? Let's bend the knees up again and we'll get going with the left side. So take the left knee in, feel the front groin contract. And then slowly release. You can use your right foot on the floor. If it feels like the foot wants to plop down, pressing the other foot down will help maintain control of the pelvis so that the movement is smooth. Leg relaxes, full breath, in and out. Sliding back up. Smooth, even motion. Where is the choppiness, unevenness? And then releasing it back down. This is what we do when we walk. This is flexion and extension of the hips. Pure and simple. Take a breath in and out. And we'll repeat it one more time. Sliding the foot in. Knee to chest. And slowly releasing it out. If you were to have to draw into a full-on sprint, you'd need that hip flexibility. I asked one of my clients yesterday, and he said, I only have to be able to run faster than the other guy I'm hunting with in case of a bear shows up. Yes, I mean, we don't lodge ourselves into running regularly. We stop running because it's bad for us. No, it's not bad for us. It's a natural ability. But what is making it not available? That's the key. Let's slide the leg up to the starting position. And now let's draw the right hip up towards the right shoulder. And then let it release down. And again, pull the hip up, contracting the right side. As you slide the right hip up. So keep a little bit of a flattening in your back so you're not irritating the lumbar spine, and only make it the movement, the size is right for you so that there is no strain. It's just a lazy little wiggle. Now let's explore the other side. Draw the left hip up. Again, lazy little wiggle. Exhale, hip pulls up. And then in-breath releases it down. Your pelvis is a little lazy Susan turntable. One of these days, I'm going to have to look up why it's called a lazy Susan. We'll just call it a lazy pelvis, but that doesn't sound good either. Pull the hip up and then relax it. Is this side easier or harder than the other? Or just exactly the same? And then as you return to neutral, we're going to slide the legs out again. Breathing in and out to the belly. And then let's come on to the right side. And as you come onto your right side, bending the knees up halfway to the 90-90s. I guess that'd be 45 degrees, wouldn't it? And then taking care that you are up on the side body, neither rolling forward or curling forward. That we have created as much space between the skull and the sacrum as we can. Sliding your left knee up and let it drop down in front of your right knee. So my foot is still resting. My foot rests on the shin, the knee. And we'll take a breath in here. Breathing into your outer hip. And then slide the leg down long, reaching down. You're going to add a little bit from Monday night. You're going to inhale. You're going to lift your right foot up. And then lower the leg. Sorry, that'd be the left one, Sally. I saw you look on your face. And then lower the leg down. Let that movement relax. And then slide the knee up again. Let the outer hip relax. So take that breath. They're using breath and stillness. Let's slide the leg out long. Straight down the mat. Our extension. And then lift the leg up. Lowering it down. Let the muscles relax. And slide the leg up again. Breath in and out. Easy. One more time. Sliding down. Lift the leg. Feel the muscles contracting. Gluteus medius. We can add a little bit more to that. Dial the toes to the sky. Release that toes back and down. Let that relax completely. And then sliding the knee up again. So when we break down movement, we get a much easier view of where the cog may be in the gear. Why something is easy and why something doesn't compute at all. Now sliding the leg back. And let's come on to our back body. Pause. As you breathe in and out, you draw a map of your body, right side and left side. What's different? Maybe it's shape, maybe it's color, maybe it's temperature. There are many, many ways we can describe these differences. Every one of them gives our brain, the motor cortex, more access. Let's bend up the knees and roll over onto the left side. Easy peasy. Long spine, not curling forward or rolling front to back. And support your head in an easy way with pillows, your arm. And let's slide the leg out. Up. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. I said out. I meant up, sliding it up. And let everything go. You may sleep in this position. You may not like it. Now, if your knee doesn't come all the way to the floor, you can slide a blanket or pillow under the knee so that it's not hovering. Let's slide the leg down. Extending out. So that was the basic movement. Sliding the leg back up again. Dropping the knee down. And some days the basic, it sounds like, well, I don't want the basic. I want the deluxe. But maybe this is where the work is. Reestablishing this movement, bringing ease to the hip. Sliding the leg down. And now, if it's available and easy, lift the leg and you don't have to go to the 100%. Play with the intensity because it's different fibers do different things. And then lower the leg back down slowly. Let the whole outer hip release long. That's the tensor fascia latae, dude. Iliotibia band, sliding the leg up. Knee releases down. Sliding up. Long. Lifting the leg. Slowly lower the leg down. Taking the hip down with it. Letting that go. Before you slide the leg back up. Finish one movement before we initiate the next. Easy breath in and out. And then let's slide it out. Lift the leg again. From the hip, rotate the leg out. And then take the leg back to neutral. Lower down. Sliding up. Last time. So the piriformis, the pain in the butt muscle, literally, and the gluteus medius, is that external rotation, and they can get super tight, staying in that rotation. And let's find our way back onto our back. Taking the legs out and just rolling the legs in and out. Windshield wiper. In and out. Now with the legs straight, we did this on our belly on Monday night, but it can be a little hard to feel the glutes. So that's why we're going to do it now on our back. Contract your right glute. Give it a good squeeze. And feel how your pelvis is now shifting on the mat, and then slowly release your right glute. Take a breath in and out. And let's do the same to the left. Squeeze the left glute. Notice how that feels. Slowly release down. Is it as eager as the right? If the glutes are not firing well, let's go back to the right. Our hip flexors cannot operate well either. It's the other side of the coin. When the glutes fire, it invites the leg into extension. Slowly release. That's taking the leg behind us. As when we walk. And it is what gives us the propulsion to step forward. Let's do the left again. We're just going from side to side, squeezing. And then slowly releasing. So now the floor gives us some feedback about what this mighty muscle is up to. Do it one more time. Contract. Yeah. And then slowly releasing. And then the other side. Contract. And slowly releasing. Let's bend the knees up. We're going to use bridge pose to play with this. And if your feet are sliding on your blanket, you can bend, just pull the blanket up so you can get your feet on your sticky mat. If you have a sticky mat, that is. So here is what we were doing while we were laying on our stomach on Monday night. As you inhale, press the feet down. Don't lift the hips yet, but are the glutes firing? Are they ready to help get the hips up? And then let that go. That has to be the first thing that happens. Bringing the body into extension. Let's press the feet down again. Glutes begin to contract. And as you press the feet down, glutes are supporting the lifting of the hips, drawing up. So now we'll lift up into bridge pose. And then slowly releasing down. Everything relaxes. Let's do that again. We'll start with an arch. Exhale. As you flatten, begin to contract the glutes and then lift the hips, using the glutes to propel you upwards. The hip flexors completely relax, lowering back down. Slowly lower down. Take a buffer breath. Now we're going to inhale. We're going to add a little variation. Inhale, arch. As you exhale and flatten, draw both knees into the chest. Now we're activating both hip flexors. That's in the flattening. Can you do it without your hands? And then keep that flattening on the back as you lower the feet back down. We'll inhale, we'll arch again, feet are on the mat. Exhale, flattening. Now we're going to lift up into the bridge. Glutes fire. Exhale, lowering down. That may take more than one breath. Inhaling, you'll arch again. Exhale, flattening, draw the knees in. Lowering down. And if this is uncomfortable for your back, you can do one at a time. Does not have to be both. But here we are using what has to happen when you walk, except we're doubling it up, aren't we? Let's do it one more time. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flatten. Glutes turns on, lifts the hips. And then slowly lower down. Slowly lower down. Let the glutes relax. We'll inhale, we'll do the hip flexing one more time. Arch and exhale. Belly in, pulls the knees in. And slowly release the feet back down, but keep the back down, keep the back down, keep the back down. There. Slide the legs out long again. And we'll bend out the left leg. We'll take the arms out to the sides. No, I don't know why I said bend out the left leg. Slide it out because we're moving into the fallen tree pose. My bad. Let's roll the right leg in and out, and rolling from the hip. Rolling from the hip. Again, don't roll into pain. Easy, easy, easy. And then next time the leg rolls out, slide the leg up. Just a lazy little tree. We'll slide it back out. Roll the leg in again. And it rolls out. We slide it up maybe a little bit higher. And then we slide it back out. Rolling it in. Rolling it out. Sliding it up. And then maybe begin to stand up the foot. You don't have to go into a big twisty event right off the bat. Let the movement build. Recognize where there is restriction, meaning that something in the body is trying to move in the opposite direction than what you're moving in. Drawing up, standing the foot up, stand the knee up, and go across. Inviting a little bit of a pelvis roll, but only as long as it's easy. Moving at a pace where you can stay in touch with what you're doing, so not whipping through it. You stay connected as you move continuously, sliding up, standing the knee up, dipping it across, so that the rotation is invited up further and further through the spine. Letting your head just roll as it wishes. Following along. Easy movement. When we feel we are swimming with the current, not against it. And the next time you take the leg out long, pausing. In the stillness, what can you learn? And then we begin on the left side. Rolling the leg in and out. Teaching the body to move without pain. It is possible. And then begin to make these little trees, these little seedlings of a tree, without being in a hurry. Little seedlings, sliding the leg up. What does that feel like? When you're ready, maybe begin to stand the knee up. Maybe just a little dipper across. Relaxing it back out. Returning to center. Again. So easy. Going maybe further and further, but only if it feels like there is no strain. So there is that sense of swimming with the current or against the current. And the ability to recognize which one is key in continuing at training the nervous system to move in an easy way. Because when we are always swimming against the current, it is that bow that we are loading the tension on. And then next time you take your left leg out, pause. Let's do our little consolidation. Draw the legs together. Take the arms up and interlace the fingers. Press the palms up. And then as you inhale, arms draws back. Tailbone and heels go in the opposite direction. Everything towards the midline, and let's take the arms up. Switch the interlace. Stretch the elbows and reach again as far as your shoulders will go comfortably. Stretch, and then after that, relax. Let your arms relax by your sides. Let your legs flop out. What does it feel like right now? And then I invite you to deepen your breath. And we'll begin to transition, bending up the knees, rolling onto one side. And then using your arms and hands to sit up. You've done it again. I will go ahead and stop the recording.